Today is Wednesday, February 28th, 2018. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor Ghost Island, Episode 1.
This episode is titled, Can You Reverse the Curse? So they got to set the theme there with Ghost Island.
Yep.
And get to hear about this several times in the episode. So what did you think overall?
Oh, I thought it was awesome. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
2 episodes back to back is the right way to start off
I
a
agree.
new Survivor season. That's about the right amount of content.
Yeah, because it just seemed to go really fast anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it had a good flow. That was really, seemed like a really good edit, the way things were just clicking, humming along there. So.
I felt like they packed a lot of stuff in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seemed like you felt like you were getting overwhelmed in the beginning.
No, that was your word, not mine. I just said, whoa, there's a lot of content coming.
Yeah.
Well, the twist, had a lot. It's like, okay.
But you knew about the twist. We had talked about it.
I closed my ears, remember? I didn't want to hear all that.
But you had heard even prior to
No, I
that.
hadn't.
Okay. Maybe you weren't, somehow you weren't magically listening then when I explained it prior to that point.
No. Honey, I can tune you out very easily.
Probst tells us that one bad decision can haunt you forever, and explains that the Ghost Island concept, the graveyard of bad decisions that they've put in place for this 36th season. And then we get one of those great intros where they take him up in a helicopter, drop him off on a rock that's basically inaccessible from the ground, and he gives our intro.
Well, not for everyone.
And then they fly back in with the helicopter and pick him up, which sometimes they give us an extra video showing how they make those. All right, they unload the boats. So no fancy marooning or exciting, chaotic marooning this time. They just bring them in 2 different boats, and they got their buffs, and they're get them unloaded there on the beach. And Probst talks about how this is one of the greatest social experiments in history, and certainly I tend to agree.
This season is all about the right decision at the right time.
Yeah, that was a nice little confessional with Kellen there in the beginning, too. That's one of the few times we got to hear from her where she talks about how that's one of her biggest fears. And certainly if you've ever thought about being on Survivor, you've spent some time thinking about that.
Oh,
how
yeah.
am I going to make decisions when I have to do them, when I have to turn on a dime? It's just like snap decisions. How is this going to work? How can I avoid making bad decisions? The reality is you don't know, and you can't. You just got to do the best.
Decision.
Yeah, and move forward.
And I
right?
hope it's the best one.
Yep. I got a mission. Here's where I'm going, as Ben would say, and execute to the mission. Yeah, so I like that. I like that insight into how she was thinking about things. And right out of the gate, they've got to make a decision, Probst tells them. So, okay, each tribe's got to pick a leader. Malolo picks Brendan.
Well, at least I think he might have volunteered, because Brendan's the one that said, does anybody want to volunteer?
Mm-hmm. And you're saying he's indirectly volunteering by asking?
No, I think he probably did volunteer. They didn't show us. We didn't see any of them choose.
You're conjecturing. I thought we did.
Exactly. Well, I didn't think so.
Okay. We just watched it go down in slightly different ways. How about that?
He asked, and then all of a sudden, it was him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't as quick as the way Navidi did it. It was
they chose.
Immediately, it was Chris in those skinny pants. That's goofy looking. Okay, so each of the leaders has to pick someone to do a physical portion of the challenge, and then they've got to pick someone to do the puzzle portion of the challenge. What did you think about the choices there?
They didn't really know there was more coming. I think they chose Chris because he looked very physical, and they thought he was going to have to do something. And then Jeff says, okay, now you got to pick somebody. That's your leader. Now he's got to pick somebody to do the physical part, and they went, oh, I think they thought he would do a physical part.
What did you think about Chris's choices?
I thought Sebastian was a good choice. Desiree, well, he doesn't know anybody yet, so I guess she was as good as anybody.
It's a great example of making a decision and
That's right.
having
Just
to go
make
with
one
it.
because you don't know.
Yes.
I'd have kind of
What'd you think about Morgan's choice
asked,
at that point, too?
anybody want to volunteer for the puzzle? What did I think about what? Morgan hiding?
what she did, yeah. She was hiding.
I was surprised.
And then she got busted
by that.
for it.
Yeah.
Probst didn't let that go.
Of course he would. But I was kind of surprised by that. That she, but I guess she knows herself. If she doesn't think she's good at puzzles, then okay. I wouldn't want to put her on there either.
Yeah, she
So
at least
hide
made
away.
it clear.
Yeah.
It seemed like that could backfire on you a little
It
bit how she
could.
did it, but
It could, but she was clear up front. Whoa, don't choose me for that.
yeah. Or what about
I-
Brendan's decisions?
I hate those slide puzzles anyway. For myself, I can't.
There's actually some patterns that you can learn for
I
them.
know, and you've done
And before
that, but
before you go out there, you can memorize the patterns for the 3 and the 4.
I don't like them.
I understand.
Okay, so Brendan's choices of Michael, which I think was very good, and Laurel. So, yeah, that was as good as anybody,
Yep. Okay.
because you don't know anything about them.
So for the physical portion, they got to run an obstacle course, and then they've got to dig up some keys to bring back to unlock the puzzle pieces, so the puzzler can do their thing on the slide puzzle.
I was really surprised that Michael kind of faded out there toward the end.
In a big way, huh?
Yeah.
For an 18-year-old, you're like, wait a minute, what's going on? How come
Wait,
he's
you're
gassed?
18. How can you?
Well,
how
even
can you be
Sebastian
gassed on
got
me?
gassed too at the
Well,
end.
he
It's
did,
not as bad.
but
Yeah.
still, Michael just, fell again.
Multiple times, yep.
Yeah, it was like, whoa, he can barely lift his leg.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it just made me think, do you do cardio? I mean, I know you work out and that kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about the cardio portion because I think that's what gets you if you don't have the cardio.
Yep. Might be all flash there.
Anyway, I was surprised since he was an 18-year-old
Yeah.
that he didn't.
What are your thoughts about this decision for reduced rice? That's quite a small amount, isn't it?
Well, we already knew about that. We had talked about it in the Jabbik show because they said they were going to give them reduced rice because they wanted to encourage them to go out into the ocean and find their own food.
What do you think about the theory that they really wanted to entice the tribes to groom providers? Like maybe they wanted another Rupert, and this is an incentive
Conjecture again.
to make that happen. Well, it certainly played well for them over the years, right?
Yeah.
And in the past, though, the providers lose out for a weaker social game. So it'll be
Well,
interesting to see how it pans out.
I guess it was the twist that really, it just kept twisting, in my opinion. It just snaked all over the place.
From my perspective, listening to you respond to things, it seemed like you were just like, whoa, 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 whoa. It was just a string of that.
It's like,
spinning you
there's
around.
more.
Yeah.
There's more. Well, I was trying to make
That's why
notes.
I said it was like you were getting overwhelmed.
No, I wasn't overwhelmed. I was trying to write fast because
Okay.
I knew we would have to go over this.
But there's still yet another twist.
Yep.
What do the leaders get to do in regards to the puzzle portion?
They get to call a finish before it's over.
Forfeit. Is that what you
forfeit,
meant to
whatever.
say? Yeah.
Yes.
So that
And,
they don't lose
that's the twist.
their
So,
fishing gear.
yeah, they keep the fishing gear, but they give up the eggs and the flint and all that stuff.
What did you think about Chris's decision there?
I thought it was right on because, that it was almost over and she wasn't there.
He seemed to be able to get a good read on Laurel's progress compared to Desiree's, right?
Yeah, I think he
So,
was
it was the
watching
right call.
very,
Yeah.
very carefully.
Yeah, so it's like the first example of Chris changing our initial impression from the Jabbik show, right?
Yeah,
Would you
he
say right
totally
there?
did. I had completely discounted him because I didn't think he was a fan and I didn't think he was really there to play. And obviously I was wrong. And I'm happy for that. I'm happy to see that.
Well, what did you think about the twist that gave the leader that option to do the forfeit?
I don't know. It was really kind of strange, but fun that they had that kind of power. It could backfire. And had I been the leader, I would have thought, oh no. Now I don't want to be the leader.
Yeah.
But and that title could stick. That's why I wouldn't volunteer necessarily. But
I really
yeah,
like the
I thought it
twist on
was-
giving the leader the option to preserve at least the fishing gear.
Yes, because that is
Pull
a
the
way to
plug on the
survive,
puzzle.
and especially with the reduced rice.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, the eggs would have been nice, the flint would have been nice, but it's not as important, even though it's immediate food, as having long-term ability to fish.
Yes. And
In my opinion.
it was a good fishing starter kit there. So yeah, I think he made the right call for sure.
Oh, and they got the shelter kit too. I forgot about that.
Malolo got that for winning.
Yeah.
hmm
I have to go back and pay special attention.
I don't know if they made the most of it, but they definitely had it.
Well, Dominic's in construction. He said he could build something out of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Though he was
We're going to talk some
seemed
more
to
about
want that
Dominic
a lot.
there. Yeah.
Okay, what else? Anything else with that challenge?
Well, you got Dominic second guessing Chris and going ahead and mouthing off about it.
Now that was just not okay. I was like, "What are you doing? I like you, but I'm not going to
Stop
like
talking.
you. Stop doing that." I mean, you really had no reason to do that.
Nope.
None. No advantage to you in the game whatsoever.
Okay, so we cut over to Malolo there on day one, and Michael tells them all that he's 23, but we know that he's really 18, and that's his plan. He doesn't want the young bias to work against him in the game.
Yeah, but I think it comes through anyway. More than I thought it would. Because he doesn't look 18, in my opinion. But you can kind of see things that come through that show his youth. But, there are people at 23 that are still act that young.
Yeah, so they go around and introduce themselves, and people get a better sense of Gonzalez and that she's got some game. That was interesting to see, too. And then we see Donathan sharing with Laurel. Makes a bond there with Laurel. What did you think about that exchange?
I was happy to see it. I like both of them. Though, like I said, I'm not going to like Dominic if he keeps doing that.
Okay, we're talking about the other tribe now. We're talking about Malolo
Oh, I thought you said...
and Michael. I said Donathan.
Oh, Donathan. I thought you said Dominic.
No,
I was still stuck on Dominic. I was still thinking
I
about
could
him.
tell. Yeah.
Him doing that.
Yep. So we're
Okay.
talking about Michael.
Let it go now.
We talked
Okay.
about Michael. We talked about Gonzalez.
We did.
And we're
We
talking
moved
a little bit about Donathan. So he's reaching out. So he's he's trying to make connections, and he's looking for protection.
Donathan's reaching out to a lot of people, and I think he really is trying to form those bonds early on because I think he's realistic enough to know he really needs it.
He tells us that
'Cause
James
he's
is exotic,
small.
which Asian people don't like that reference, Donathan. Hopefully someone explained that to you at some point. People don't like to be referred to as exotic just because you think they're different.
I don't think James would take any offense.
No, but he might
From
explain it to
Jonathan.
him. Yeah.
Well, he could.
And his name's Donathan.
What did I say? Did I say Jonathan? It's Paul's fault.
Okay.
Sorry, Paul.
Yeah. She's not gonna own it, Paul. So I guess you're gonna get that every time now.
No, I've almost said that before. Easy to do.
Okay, so we go over to Naviti so that we can meet them. And Kellen tells us about how she realized she had to push reset on her life and start over with a focus on living for her. So we got her some of that story in her preseason, and now they're laying more foundation for it here. Won't get to hear a whole lot from her after this point, right? We
No,
get
not
those
as much
little
as I would have
blurbs.
thought.
She got a couple confessionals.
Must mean she goes deep in the game. And Dominic, you could tell, at least I didn't think Sebastian really liked his nickname of Seabass.
Yeah, that was,
I
again...
was like,
So
Dominic,
there's Dominic, and I think there's Dominic. And I think Dominic was out
stop pushing people's buttons.
when he was renaming Sebastian there, telling him how he should have already been called that. Man, he talks too about we get a little more of his backstory about how he's had to make some life decisions. When he had kids, he realized that he needed to start cleaning up his act
So he could live long enough to
to be there for him.
yep. Okay.
What about this exchange between Chris and Sebastian.
I was kind of surprised, but yet not, to see that.
I'm going to go with complete surprise.
So fast. I mean, just bam. They were like, yeah, we got a lot in common. They had been watching each other, I guarantee you, before they ever got to speak. They might not have even known they were on the same tribe, but I bet you they thought about working with each other just by watching each other, the week or so while they're there and can't communicate.
So I got to come back again and say, here's Chris giving me another example of how my Jabbok was way, way wrong. He even knew that Sebastian was named after Sebastian Inlet. They know the areas in Florida that they're both from. That was very interesting. In that exchange, worked so well in Chris's favor, it just won Sebastian over. Sebastian's convinced he's got a buddy now for sure, and it seemed genuine. So,
and who are they gunning for?
Dominic,
because Dominic did
singled
upset
out Chris.
Him with the sea bass.
Sure. Well, no, not
that, and singled.
I don't know
him
the
out
sea
for
bass
that.
thing mattered to
I think it did.
Sebastian just let that roll.
Just one more thing. Okay. At least he sees him as a big red flag. And I just was so surprised. I don't know why. But everybody was like, okay, and first off, we decide everything right now. We're in an alliance, and who are we going to vote off first?
Yeah, we've certainly
I know we've seen
that.
it before.
Lots of times.
It just really...
Recent.
It still just really like...
You hearkening back for slower times, are you?
I guess, maybe. Well, this is the season to reflect back.
Are you a little melancholy because your birthday's coming here? What's going on?
That's more, no, hadn't really given it a whole lot of thought.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's time for reflection and thinking back to earlier times.
Well, right. in Survivor history, not my life.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What did you think about Jacob's situational awareness? This magnificent demonstration that we got.
Well, that was just hysterical. Walks out to the beach, first time, loses his shoes. Put them right there.
The whole waves thing was a learning experience for him.
I thought, I don't know if he's been to the beach before.
I don't care. I think he more than knew.
He said he was an inside boy. Mm-hmm. But I thought, lost your shoes? Well, he said one of my pairs of shoes.
Sure.
So obviously he had more, which I'm very glad for because...
Well, they got their dress shoes that they maroon in typically, and then they get their sneakers for challenges.
Well, at least he had another pair, but I just thought that was so silly.
Okay, so he tells us he's afraid of a pretty person alliance, the PPA. All right. You think that was well-founded?
Well, I think that's just been probably his experience in life. And this is a social experiment, so he's expecting it to kind of go along those lines.
And somehow he thinks they don't know he's searching for an idol.
Yeah, that was the thing that surprised me the most about him because he's such a huge fan. He did not have a lot of situational...
I didn't expect him to be a chucklehead. He's really chuckleheaded it right out of the gate.
Chucklehead,
well, you lose your shoes at the beach because of the waves that you can see
that was
lapping at your feet. And then you don't think that they're gonna.
And you don't even go after them. They're just like he just kind of stood there and went.
What is that floating away?
Is that my shoes are gone? That's what happens.
And he somehow thinks that they're not gonna know that he's searching for idols already.
He's
got no. Yeah, you summed it up best. There just seems like a complete lack of situational awareness at this point.
Yeah,
there's other times that we see that he's got a better sense of what's going on.
He does.
Just not then.
But he still can convince himself that. We'll talk about it later because Stephanie really worked him. But we'll discuss that when we get there.
Well, speaking of Stephanie J. There, she, her and Brendan and who is it, James were talking, and they just zeroed right in on Jacob.
Oh yeah. Got to keep an eye on him.
This guy, yeah.
He's shady or
what does he think he's doing? Yeah. Brendan says, "Hey, let's go search for yams," and Jacob says, "Well, I'll watch the fire." And then he proceeds to pour the group's rice into his dirty sock. hunting for an idol.
Okay, that was gross.
Oh, yeah, and all of them probably were watching tonight going, oh, ooh, ooh.
Oh no, I ate rice and he
I ate rice, right? That was in his dirty sock. Oh. I'd totally punch him next time I saw him for that.
Yeah, give him
Yeah.
a good old arm punch.
Yeah. Going
Well,
swimming, take my frog
Well, I
with
don't know
you.
if you could get away with that, but I could.
You definitely frog him in the arm for that one.
Yeah, you couldn't do that because your frogging ability is massive and it hurts really bad.
You say that like I've frogged you and it's
You
caused
have.
great pain.
You have.
No.
Yes, you have.
No.
We've done it to each other.
Yes.
And we quit doing that because I couldn't compete.
Little delicate flower over here.
No, you
I,
hurt.
I gave you like
just
10%.
You're like a jackhammer. It's like, ow.
All right.
Well, we
all
used
right.
to try to, okay, and I can do it harder than you can.
Right.
No, you can do it harder. And I don't ever need to find that out again.
Okay.
There's
All
something
right.
about
So
your
dirty,
bony fingers.
dirty sock rice.
Okay, we could have not gone back to that.
The
I would have
DSR.
been fine.
All right.
Okay, but at least I like it. At least that he was searching for a clue in the rice. But don't you think you could have just like stuck your hand in there, or you could have just shook it enough to see if
Little strip of bamboo poking around.
or find
you would have known just
something,
fine.
anything. Just
Yeah.
take your shirt off, put it on your shirt even over a dirty sock.
Yeah.
Even though. Okay, enough. That's making
Some
me
funky
queasy.
rice. Funky rice.
Funky rice.
All right. So Wendell, he's
Little
working.
seasoning.
Yeah.
Okay, we're
Toe jam.
terrible. Let's go.
Wendell's making a crab trap. I like that. We get a
Yeah,
little bit
that
of his
was awesome.
story. Yeah.
You could probably catch fish in there too, right?
Yeah. I thought that's what he was
It
doing
looked
at
like
first,
it.
but he was talking about crabs. But you can
Yeah.
you can use the same general kind of trap, I think, for both of them. Not that I've personally done that, but I've seen it.
Well, I like it that Wendell likes Dominic.
Why?
I don't know. I just did because
I like Wendell, but I think Dominic's
I
a little
know,
self-destructive of his own game. So
I
I don't want to see
just,
Wendell get drugged down by Dominic.
No, I wouldn't either. But I thought he could keep Dominic up, keep him from nosediving.
Wow. What would suggest to you that Dominic's going to listen to anyone?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Nothing we've seen so far.
Anyway, Dominic knows that Chris is after him.
Because Sebastian shared it with Wendell. Yeah.
Well, that they wanted him, but he knew right away it was Chris. He knew Chris's reaction when he said what he said,
Yeah.
and that's why he shouldn't have said it. But anyway, at least he was aware enough to realize that Chris was after him.
Yep. So Wendell
For that reason.
didn't appear to waste much time. He took that to Dominic and Bradley.
And we see Chris over showing Desi some yoga moves.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't show too much about Desi.
We didn't get as much as we saw him interacting in camp. It was more alliances than it was the social components of the game, huh? Except, well, I guess the second episode there were some pretty significant social aspects.
Okay, the first immunity challenge. And Jeff tells us Ghost Island is now in play.
Yep.
And that someone from the losing tribe is going there.
Community challenge. Yes. Chris and Wendell come flying out at the beginning of that challenge and both slam
fell.
into the ground. Yeah.
And Jeff blamed it on adrenaline.
Probst
have
tells us that the Naviti tribe was demonstrating great teamwork as they went to load the puzzle pieces and pull them on that sled over, and they had to make multiple passes, load up that heavy sled, and work together as a team, pulling it by rope.
Everybody actually, I thought, did a pretty good job with that.
Yeah, Malolo wasn't that far behind. Naviti just
No, they weren't.
executed a little better.
Well, I actually had thought that Naviti has a stronger tribe.
Yeah.
I've thought that from the beginning.
Okay.
Unlike you, who chose them to lose.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it wasn't as clear to me that was necessarily the case. So.
Well, I specifically was looking for that to try to figure out who I thought was going to lose.
Well, you chose well, and I didn't.
That's true.
What else would you like to say about the immunity challenge?
Nothing other than I enjoyed it.
I like the 3D puzzle. I like the complexity of that.
Kellen was really, telling them where to put the one piece, and they did it.
Yep.
So I thought, well, she's doing good directing that.
Yeah, they did better than Jacob, Michael, and Laurel and Wendell, didn't they?
Yes. Okay, so Naviti wins, and Jacob starts in right away. At least that's what he said later. That he was gonna, mouth off and try to get them to send him.
He wanted to go to Ghost Island, yeah. So he starts talking about how they are the best tribe of all time.
Though, I don't know if he really knew how much danger he was actually in.
No,
I'm sure he
I think
had
it's pretty
his
safe to say he never knew. Yeah,
Okay.
at this point, given everything we've seen.
So they responded, let's just send him.
Yep. I
He's
was
smack
surprised.
talking.
Yeah, I was surprised that they went ahead and did that.
Yeah, I kind of was too, because it was, I'm sure, what he wanted. But it worked. So he got what he wanted, and off he went. He just tells us that's how his mind works.
Yeah, and we get a quick confessional with Jenna there where she's talking about, well, we were going to pick Jacob to go, so who do we pivot to now that Jacob's
Well,
safe?
I thought, well, it's probably not Jenna, and that's who I picked to go. So I was very wrong.
Yep.
Again.
Okay, so before we get to that portion of the game, we got to drop Jacob off on Ghost Island and get a better sense of how that's going to work. So Jacob tells us he's expecting to find some help here. And he recognizes some of the relics on the way in, and certainly recognizes those snuffers once he gets to the base camp.
And he does get an advantage.
All right. So it tells him to go over and smash the urn, and then from there he gets the direction. So he is in the game. So at this point, they're either in the game or not, right? Depending on what comes out of the urn that gets smashed. They're going to get to play, or
And well, if he didn't do it, he was going to lose his vote at the next tribal council. So he didn't really have a choice.
yeah. All right, so he follows the fire, and then that's when he learns about what you said. He can choose to wager a vote for an advantage, and given he does have some situational awareness. He had some sense that he was at risk, so he said, you know what, you got to take it when you're presented with this. And he ends up with the legacy advantage.
Yeah, that's
Game
cool.
changers, yes.
Sarah's.
Yep. Well,
Well,
Sierra
was it
and then
originally
Sarah's.
Sarah's?
Yeah.
But, okay. Yeah.
Whether you can be
Ended up being Sarah's.
guaranteed immune when there's 13 left, or if you held it all the way up to 6. But the catch is he doesn't get to keep it.
Yeah. It doesn't. The only
turn out to be
advantage to
anything for
him is he doesn't lose his vote at the next tribal council, which ended up not mattering anyway.
It gives him an opportunity to potentially reach out to someone on the opposite tribe. So he picks Morgan from Naviti, which
Wonder how he chose Morgan.
just his impressions, I guess, right? That's what he said. Looked like she was logical. She had a good head on her shoulder, so he was looking for someone he thought he might could make a connection with. Yeah. Someone who might think about the game the way he did. All right, so he wills it to her. And now we cut back to the Malolo tribe.
And Donathan realizes that he could have a target on him. He better put a target on somebody else. So he starts pointing the finger at Stephanie Gonzalez.
Yeah, Gonzalez was telling the tribe that she had an idea for how to do the puzzle, but really what Donathan tells us is that she was just repeating what he said, and that she had then during the challenge that she was the one, because it wasn't clear to us, right, when we were watching the challenge, that she was the one that told Donathan to be quiet because there are too many voices speaking. So yeah, it's got him out of sorts, and certainly gives him a target to focus on.
Yeah, so they basically target each other.
Yeah, when Brendan's talking to the PPA, the Pretty Person Alliance, they decide that they want to focus on a weaker person, and that's when Gonzalez offers up Donathan, saying he is visually weak.
Yeah, but then they, Stephanie and Jenna and Libby, and maybe Laurel was there.
Laurel
too.
was there, yep.
And, Stephanie's like, I can nurture Donathan.
Yeah,
She could pull
she said
him in.
nurture, but that's a vote that she could
Yeah.
control is really what she was saying
That's
first.
what she meant,
And
but
then
she's putting
nurture.
it, yeah. But
Yeah.
in other words, she could manipulate him. She was sure of it.
And she recognized Gonzalez as a strategic
There's no way
threat.
she could manipulate her.
And of course, bottom line, there's only room for one Stephanie, so she's gonna wants to clear
Well, that
the deck
was the
there.
only good thing about it. We don't have to worry about, saying anything but Stephanie now, because there's only one left.
All right, we were almost to tribal council.
Well, Michael tells us he wants to vote for strength, and Gonzalez is stronger.
I like what Steph says there. What if we
That's it.
need a little person that we can shove into something from one of the challenges, though? That was good.
She's
was
smaller than him.
trying to make a case. I don't know
well,
that she is.
You, Stephanie. Mm-mm. Yeah, she's small.
I don't think she's smaller than Donathan.
She might not be shorter,
Yeah.
but she's smaller.
I don't know. I think she could probably snap Donathan in half.
No,
She's stout.
she's not stout.
Okay. Michael tells us that he wants to keep Gonzalez because she's strong and he really wants to focus on the physical strength. But we're not clear exactly how things are going to go, so it's off to tribal council. Yes, fire represents life, and when your fire's out, your life in the game's over. Probst zeroes in on my USB Steph J for smiling, but she says, can't help it. I'm here. I don't want to be here, but I am here, so part of me smiling. I'm excited.
Well, just the thought of sitting there and all that splendor and getting to see tribal council for the first time and being there in front of Probst.
I'm with her. I'd be smiling too.
I know. How could you not just
If that was your thing, if you
geek out?
yeah, if you enjoy the game that much, it would come across that way.
It would be amazing.
Afraid I'd get busted for that too.
Even if they voted me out, if it was a good blindside, it would still be fun.
Probst asked Gonzalez about Ghost Island and the Jacob being there, she says, well, she's pretty sure he's looking for idols and he's special. So
Yeah, Laurel says she wants to keep the tribe physically strong. Mm-hmm. But strong means something different to each person. And Stephanie J says that, but there's social and strategic strength too.
yep.
So that kind of made me think they were on opposite sides of the vote at that point, and that she had presented it out there about getting rid of Gonzalez to all
What
of
did you
the
think
others.
about Donathan's response to all this? What did he do? He got nervous, right? He started shrinking.
I know, but yeah, he was when they start. You mean when they started whispering and everything?
Even before then,
Yeah, well-
he was talking about the disadvantage due to his lack of experience.
Well, yeah, and he said right up front that this was an opportunity for him to meet new people. He's not been exposed to a lot of different people in his entire life, so it's all great fun for him, but I'm sure also very overwhelming.
Yeah.
And then they talk about, her being, Stephanie being strong in the puzzles.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Gonzalez said that she wanted to be on the puzzle, and Brendan said, well, if I'd known that you had that strength,
Yeah.
as in,
Why
as
didn't you
if to
speak
say, yeah, you didn't share that beforehand.
Now, was Brendan going to vote for her anyway, or did he change his mind after she said that?
Don't know, but I think he was going to vote for her. Yeah.
Yeah, because why don't you speak up? If you say you're good at puzzles and there's a puzzle, why don't you say, hey, I should be on the puzzle. I'm good at those.
Michael talks about alliances not being formed yet, but that something triggered Gonzalez, right? So she turned to Michael when he said that, and then it was on. Then we went live.
Well, she
into
was
tribal
reading them, I
council.
think, at that point, and she
Yeah.
went, wait a minute.
Picked up on a
They're
threat,
voting for me.
right? So she
I got to talk.
goes and talks to the Pretty Person Alliance, talks to Brendan, talks to Michael.
But she asked Brendan, who are you voting for? And he said Donathan. Mm-hmm. So why would he tell you anything else, even if he's voting for you?
Yeah.
So obviously she tried to make her case or make some kind of deal or something.
While all the whispering and the talking was going on, Donathan just kept shrinking smaller and smaller there, and Probst even
He's
called
like,
him out for it.
Nobody's talking to me.
Right.
That's a great big flashing red light too.
All right, so the votes come in. We get 1 for Donathan, 5 for Gonzalez, and she's gone.
That's right.
Blindside. First blindside. She did not know until
Well,
in tribal
until
council.
tribal council.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she had a clue about that till then. But good on her. She picked it up.
Yeah, she tried to rally, but obviously some decision had been made prior to them going to tribal council, it looked like, right, for it to be that unanimous.
Yep. Okay, first person voted out, Gonzalez.
So if you got that, you got an extra point in our fantasy league.
That was 2 points. Okay, now we go back over to Naviti, and Dom is getting all paranoid.
Not able to sleep. Yep.
And he goes out and starts looking for the idol, even though he can't see well. But, Ben did it last season. He looked at night and in the dark and everything else. So
I'm really surprised people don't get hurt more often doing that.
Yeah, me too. Sticking their hand in.
Well, and he turned something over and there was a rat under it. You could see at one point. So he got pretty close to getting a handful of rat.
Ugh. Okay. Well, they would all know I was up because there would be a blood-curdling scream that would follow that.
Yep. But it's dark enough that he can't read it when he actually does find it.
And just the fact that he found it, I was like, wow.
What did you think about this one? That was cool, huh? Mm-hmm. It was Andrea's, the one that she held on to. First woman voted out, holding one.
But, of course, he tells us he's not going to do that.
And I can't remember if it came earlier with Jacob or not, but you definitely get the title for the episode here. Can you reverse the curse?
Yeah, when he said it.
Yeah.
He says he can.
And that's going to enable him to take more risks because he said he wants to take risks, but I took that to mean he wants to make big plays. So I'm not sure how that really enables him more than one time, but I like the secret approach that Ben utilized much more than somehow thinking it allows you to take all kinds of risks in the game.
Now, here's the thing. Do you think that they take Morgan off to a confessional and tell her to look in her bag? Because otherwise, something like that could go to the bottom of your bag and you might not really see it for a long time.
Yeah, I'm going to say that they make sure
that she looks.
Yeah.
But I thought that's an easy way they could do it because they call them to the side for confessionals all the time.
Sure.
And just say, you need to check your bag while we're filming.
Or she just walks by someone and they know that she's by herself.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But that was just a back thing I thought was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how does she know to go look in the bag?
Right.
Okay, so she's got the legacy advantage. Good on her. She can, and I was surprised that Jacob's name was on there. So, and she actually knew who gave it to her.
But the other people's names were on there.
Because last season, I know, but last season, they didn't tell who gave the advantage.
For the Super Idol you're talking about.
Yeah, they didn't tell Chrissy that Ryan.
But this was different.
Yeah, I know, it was different.
Okay. Well, she's going to have to wait a while to do anything with it.
Well, yes. Right. And, but I guess it would be the same as it was before. If she gets sent out of the game, she wills it to somebody else. It didn't say that. I mean, they didn't read that part.
Yeah, that's a good point. She tells us she's most worried about the fact that she knows she has a big mouth, and it's hard for her to keep a secret.
Well, she had best keep that secret.
Yeah.
Do not make that mistake, Morgan. You will greatly disappoint me should you do that.
Cut back to Ghost Island. Jacob has a plan. He's got some beads that he gathered from the previous day's tree mail, and he's going to make a fake idol. So he tells us he's going to bend the truth. He's going to tell him about how things came together, but then he's going to say he found this hidden immunity idol, which is a fake idol that he made. And he's going to use it to bluff his way to safety.
And I think that was a great idea, but the thing is the way he informed them, it just didn't. The execution fell through. It was just
right. So we're back at Malolo there on day 4, and they're having some sea cucumber. And Jacob returns, and he tells them, we need to talk. So he shares his immunity idol, the fake immunity idol, with them. And he tells them, hey, I'm going to play it at the next tribal council. I don't want to be the guy holding an immunity idol. And here's where we get to reevaluate our opinion of Brendan.
I wasn't as happy with my USB until then. I was like, ooh, he picked right up on that.
You've got Brendan to win, okay?
I do, yes.
And I got Stephanie J to win. Okay. And Brendan bust Jacob's story right there. Hey, you got the note that came with it? No, I forgot to bring it.
I forgot that thing and just left it out there. And Brendan's like, there is no way that super fan left that out there.
It's really hard to pull the lie off on these kind of scenarios. Either where you're given something, when you have to go make a choice, something for the good of your tribe or something selfish for you, like an idol, or in this scenario, it's so hard to come off.
Well, this is a good thing for Jacob,
story.
Not in the game, but in life. He does not lie well. He did not good at it.
Right.
And he was overselling and this has this shell has this little eye and this, and I'm just,
I loved.
It's all too much.
I love Stephanie's response to this. Oh, I can totally use them. I can use him. It's just like Donathan. I can bend him to my will. It's another vote I can control.
Okay. I have to admit, she impressed me probably most.
Yeah.
Because I really thought she would be so annoying.
Looking forward to hearing you backtrack a little there, Brandon A.
Oh, no, you're already going there. Okay, anyway, I thought, that was good on you, Brandon. Or Brendan, not Brandon. Brendan.
Brendan, yeah. Well, and Stephanie's got a plan for Jacob now. She's seen him goof that up, but she's like, oh, no. These Donathans and Jacobs have value. Let me see what I can make of that.
Well, and now we get to see Dominic, who decides, I better try to make amends with Chris and talk to him and get in an alliance with him.
He had a huge Coach vibe. When he's showing how to do that lift, he really reminded me of Coach. And he's all overconfident, like you're saying. He's going to reach out to Chris. So what did you... And then we're treated to a little crab-on-crab violence to tell us, hey, this isn't going to go well. And a little nature cut scene there before they have their talk.
Yeah, Chris impressed me more. He wasn't buying it, He was asking questions and, well, do you have an idol? You got to share information with me. And he lied about that. And but then he decides to make this fake idol and then fess up that he lied. Well, I lied. I do have an idol, but and I'm going to share it with you. But it looked like that really worked because of the way he did it. So he sold that way better.
Having an actual letter to go along with it. Really.
Exactly.
According to Dominic at this point, because I think he's in Dominic mode. But
I didn't think so in this particular situation.
Absolutely. What's Chris's response? Where once again I had to up my assessment of Chris. Chris says something's off about this. I just need to get rid of this guy.
That's where Chris really impressed me the most. Is he went with his instincts, which I do a lot of the time, and it's usually paid off pretty good. If you feel that strong instinct, you better trust it.
I think that's because Dominic was doing such a crappy job. Yeah. And then to come back with the lie like that, it's
the timing
the way
was
that
off.
we got to see it, the way it played out in the edit, looked like severely impaired judgment on his part. The execution of it just seemed to a complete fumble, and yet he thought he had knocked it out of the park.
I like Dominic, and I was really cheering for him, and I almost, he was one of my people to pick for my USB.
Yeah, I never understood that. But
I was afraid he could get a little over paranoid. And it looks like he was paranoid before he even got there. He was already, he was talking about already as soon as he left the house, he was really missing his family. And so I'm not sure if he's going to be able to put that aside, and hang in out there.
He's going to be struggling,
Yeah, I hope he does, but there's some evidence at this point that he's going to struggle.
Day 6, community challenge. All right, got to get in the water, got to get some buoys.
Swim out, dive down, release the buoys.
In the basket.
Get the buoys up.
And this is a immunity/reward challenge. So there's comfort. You can get chairs, you can get pillows, you can get a hammock, and Propes informs us there's even a washboard to clean your clothes. That's strange, wasn't it?
That's a first.
Yeah, for the comfort. Okay, whatever.
Okay.
And invisible except for some strange lip licking at the very beginning
must have
of
suggested that.
At the beginning, beginning of an episode, Angela sits out, so you get to see a little bit of her. But for the most part, Angela and who else did we say? Chelsea? Yeah, Angela and Chelsea were totally purple. Excuse me. Yeah, purple Chelsea, purple Angela. So Angela sits out on this challenge for Naviti.
Well, we didn't see a ton of Desiree either.
Yeah, we did.
Not a ton.
Well, you don't get to see a ton of anyone at this point, but she was significantly featured, let's say.
Okay.
Right? Because she did that puzzle. Oh, you're giving me to move along.
Yeah, move along.
You're giving me a little hand signal, but I'm going to go ahead and point out to you why you were wrong. And it was in the challenges because she was significantly featured in the challenges, both in the sliding puzzle and in this challenge where she played a huge role. You understand? She's eyeballing me over here.
Well, your beard got my attention. It
squirrel
had a flip up. Mm-hmm. You know, like it came way down past your lip and it flipped back up.
Yeah.
It just got my attention.
Uh-huh.
Never mind.
All right, so Angela sits out. Joanne can't pay attention.
No, I can't keep my focus.
Yeah. Well, that would be not being able to pay attention.
No, I'm
but
paying
okay.
attention. I'm just not focusing.
All right, whatever you want to call it. All right, so what did you think about the folks in the challenge there? Going over the seesaw and the swimming and all that.
I was really...
diving down
everybody
to release
did
the buoys.
Pretty good.
Boys.
Until they got to James and Donathan. And the first time I saw James and Donathan paired up, I thought, well, they paired him with a strong guy. He may not be a strong swimmer, but then I saw James just kind of jumped off and he wasn't swimming very well, and he looked to be like he got over in front of Donathan, kind of blocking him. And I thought, well, maybe he's rushing over to get to the, release the buoys. And then he couldn't dive down at all.
Couldn't hold his breath.
It's almost like he was frightened, and therefore, he was so panicked. You can't hold your breath at all.
Right.
If you're panicked like that.
Because you're shallow breathing.
Oh, yeah. And I thought he couldn't do it.
Your chest tightens up and you can't hold any air.
And Donathan wasn't even planning to try to do it. So, obviously, James had thought he could do it.
Okay, so what is your assessment of how this plays out? Probst tells us a hero has emerged. Through much coaxing Donathan from his teammates and urging by Probst, Donathan has his Suri moment to go back down.
Yeah.
And do this portion of the challenge.
I like
where
it.
James couldn't.
I could not like it because I like Donathan, and I really like that he dug down deep and did it.
He had to use the probes to dig deep. Okay.
Well, he did.
Uh-huh.
He had to go deep to actually do that, because you could tell he was frightened also to try to dive down.
Here's my assessment. Okay, he did a very basic thing that any fan knows you're going to have to do in the context of the game, and he didn't seem to be prepared to do. I'm already tired of I'm from a small town, I haven't seen anything, I can't do it.
Oh, you're just mean.
I may be mean. That may be it. That just may be the core of it. So it was not a hero moment to me. I
wouldn't call it a hero moment.
That was way over the top.
But I think it was a great personal accomplishment moment.
I'm happy for him. At the same time, hey, I'm tired of your story. Move along, because it just ain't got,
It ain't
got much to it. Not a lot there.
Alrighty then.
And then Steph J comes up, and she finally gets her chance to get the marked buoys, and so that they can take a shot. Brendan takes one shot and misses. At that point, Desiree sinks the 8th basket, and it's over. So they had won. So Desiree and Wendell were shooting for Naviti, and they did a fantastic job. They didn't make progress early on, but because Donathan and James were so dysfunctional in the challenge, there wasn't a big rush. So
yeah. Well,
I thought Desiree did a great job. Wendell I don't know if they were splitting them half or whatever.
They might even have said, can you just wait and hold your last one till we get this
Get
done
up
over
here so we
here.
can take a shot.
Well,
You know it doesn't work that way.
I know, but
All right, so now,
sounds good.
no, it doesn't. It sounds like the game's being manipulated, and it's not. Navite gets
Well,
that
it won't change
comfort
the
item.
outcome. Okay, all right, they win. That's the way it is. And
Who does Navite pick to go to Ghost
I
Island?
wondered if Morgan would try to convince people to
Mm-hmm.
send Jason back.
Jacob,
Jacob,
because there's no one named Jason in the show.
hey, you did that earlier today. I'm going, who? Who? You were saying
No, I was-
Abby instead of Libby.
And I'm mixing up Morgan and Jenna for some reason. I don't know why, but they
I don't either.
somehow end up looking similar to me.
Not to me. Okay.
I need more time with the roster, obviously.
to get the names right. Okay. But anyway, I thought Morgan might encourage them to send Jacob. And so
This is
that
not
he
to be.
might send her more stuff.
All right. Who do they end up choosing?
Jonathan.
Because a hero has emerged, and they reward him by sending him to Ghost Island.
There you go.
Jacob's upset. He wanted to go back. But he tells us now he'll just have to take control of the game with the fake idol.
All righty.
Okay, Ghost Island, day 6. Jonathan's nervous. He's by himself.
Well, but he did it. Well, he wasn't really 100% by himself. There
Obviously not.
had to be a camera person.
Right.
But I get
He
what
tells
he
us
means.
that he lit fire by himself and cooked rice, and I was watching him make his fire as he reached over to the torch that was burning, light some
Hey.
kindling to get it started.
That's great. He's still got a fire going.
I would say he transferred fire from point A to point B. I don't think he
Still
started
got
a fire.
going for himself.
Oh,
and they had
geez.
a convenient thing there to make it in. So,
Yeah.
their own
You know what?
little
I guess I was
fireball.
probably more impressed that he was able to make some rice that he could eat, because I know that might be a challenge for me. But yeah, so he got that going.
You've made rice.
I know, but when you do it that way where you're boiling it, I made it in the slow cooker. That's nothing. That's just like follow 3 or 4 steps and you get rice.
You made it on the stove too.
I have. I don't remember
I
doing
think
that.
I showed you how.
Anyway, yeah.
Stacy would be rice challenged. Oh, you'd figure it out if you were hungry.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but anyway, I was proud of him. I thought he did good.
Yeah, and he realizes he's not going to be able to play, so
Yep. He gets the,
no game for you.
what was it he busted?
No soup
What
for
are they
you.
calling those? What's the little thing he busted? Oh, good. You lost it too.
Yeah, I did.
It's not just me. We're really
can't
getting old now.
I kept wanting to say gourd. Anyway,
Okay.
yes,
He hit the thing.
the container.
and it
Perfect.
came up empty.
Yes.
So, okay, good. He didn't have to do anything else. But he didn't get anything else
Right.
either. So
The little
I
clay
was
tube told him
curious-
that he wasn't going to be able to
Yeah,
play.
I was curious whether do they have to hit the next one in order, or can you just go down halfway and hit one?
Pick one. Yeah, I don't think there was anything that said it was in a specific order.
Well, we didn't see anything, but
Right.
he went in order. So I'm curious. I'm waiting for somebody else to do it differently. Go, I'm not going to take the next one. I'm going to do something else. That would be me. No, I'm going to go hit this one down here.
Okay, back to Malolo. Day 6, get a brief view of a shark in the water there, and then cut to James telling his tribe, I failed you.
I
There's
choked.
no way around it. Yeah.
But he'll do all he can to redeem himself.
All right. We believe you, little buddy. Good job. Brendan, Michael, and Steph J are having a discussion. They want to target Jacob, but they know that they need to split the vote too. So,
You sound like the captain talking to Gilligan.
okay.
Little buddy.
I see. That's where you got that. I'm like, where did that come from? All right, so they're going to split it on Jacob and James, but they got to make Jacob feel solid. So this was interesting to watch with Steph, and it was a great life test of Jacob. It's just unfortunate it had to go down in front of millions of people.
It's true, but you know, it's almost kind of like all those strong women talking Eric into giving up his.
Oh, it's a perfect
immunity.
example of that kind of thing.
I know.
It's a great flashback to it. She read him. She's like, he's a fan. And she knew that she has her physical
she worked
assets
it. She worked
that she's been
really well.
that she's been leveraging, I'm sure,
Go, girl.
all her life. But she made it a cerebral connection, and I think that's what completely broke him. When it was, hey, we're both fans.
She used all her tools.
We're interested. We're both interested in the strategic side of the game, and it was over. He was done.
Yeah. And the proof in the pudding was that he told her the secret.
Yes.
He told her the idol was fake.
He didn't even stop there.
Oh, and told her about
That's
Morgan.
why she completely. That was wow. I chose so well with her.
Whoa.
She's playing a phenomenal game, and
yes, you did.
I had no idea that she would be even that good.
I didn't believe it. The people that believed in her really believed in her, but I just didn't. I didn't see it. I thought, oh, she's going to be annoying. I mean, I could see she's a fan. She really wants to play.
She was not annoying. There's
she's
nothing
energetic.
annoying about her.
I just thought her video was she was talking so hard and fast, and I thought she would annoy people.
That's one of those, be afraid.
I was wrong.
Be very afraid. This person can play the game at multiple levels at the same time. She's a triple threat.
That's why you were always scared of Sandra, and you said, I'd vote her out immediately.
I get rid of
scared to death
threats. When you can see a real threat like that, a predator, yes, get them out of the game. That's always going to be my strategy.
Well, I really kind of held out hope that she was going to pull something else off, and he trusts me. Maybe I should really vote out one of the big guys.
Mm-hmm. You just can't help yourself, huh? You're bound to go to what the end result of each tribal council is before we get there.
No, I didn't. I haven't even gone to tribal council. This is what she brought up right after she talked to Jacob. That was the very next thing.
If you listen to what you said and how you said it, you'd understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, Jacob tells us it's a Beauty and the Beast moment he wishes. And yeah, that's where Stuff J says she's struggling. She realized that she did succeed. She does have his complete trust in the game.
And that maybe she should vote with him and vote him off.
Tells Jenna, because her and Jenna have
tells Jenna about it.
A powerful alliance. So that's going to be interesting to watch how Jenna.
I wasn't out of order.
Well, you were.
No.
With what you were saying.
No, I wasn't.
Yes.
You're wrong.
Okay. Moving on.
Jason has.
There's no one in the game named Jason.
Skills. Oh, I wrote Jason. You see, I wrote Jason right here.
I'm not surprised.
Jacob. Here, let me change it right. I don't know why I started writing Jason.
Jenna tells us that Jacob is not smart and he has no social skills. So it's different from what you expect. He's supposed to be the smart one or one of the smart ones, but Jenna says no. And
now, here again.
She's loyal to Stephanie J.
Brendan sees Jenna and Stephanie Johnson talking, and he's like, "Oh, they're doing something." He recognized that they weren't just chatting.
Yeah. We got some insights into some people who are playing at different levels. You can see there are different strata in these players right now. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Brendan was talking to Libby and Michael, and he said, "I'm worried that there might be a double cross going on here."
So he's pretty astute that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then Laurel and James, it kind of shows us that they're not in some of those groupings either. There's some small groups.
Sure. Just like there's Stephanie and Jenna. Yeah.
And they I feel like they're not in with the cool kids or something.
Yeah, but that was Jacob, I think, doing his part with them.
No, that was when Stephanie was talking to Laurel and James about voting out Michael.
Okay.
So no, he wasn't there. Jacob
right. There was a scene where James and Laurel were carrying some stuff, and Jacob was talking to him.
Yes,
I thought that's what you were referring to.
No, it's when Stephanie was talking to him.
Okay.
So anyway, at this point, I totally didn't know where they were going, which I'm sure was the point. But it worked on me. Mm-hmm. So let's go to the final tribal council.
Not the final one, but the second one. Yep.
Well,
that's a special thing.
Final one
Let's
for
be careful.
Tonight.
Yeah. Jacob has to get fire because it's his first time there. He even mouths the words, as Prope says them, fire represents life.
Well, at least you got to keep it for a little while.
Yeah. Probst zeroes in on James, and James tells us, yep, my performance in that challenge was a disaster. I hate myself. And Steph J says, well, I got to give credit for trying, but yeah, it did hurt us.
It did put us back. Yep.
She didn't let him off the hook there at all, huh?
And if you do that again, you're out of here.
Yeah, Jacob had told him about Ghost Island.
Well, who was it that talked about the information imbalance?
James. Yes.
So that, again, an example of how that was just a little off.
Jacob tells Probst that he was welcome back, not with vitriol.
And he
But
still
because
thinks
these
they're
are
the
the best tribe, the best folks ever on Survivor. Stephanie says, yeah, I understand the glass half full thing. And Jacob says, no, yeah, I own it. It's bravado.
Well,
I got to see it to be it. He's pulling the Fraser Crane psychology of life moment there.
I thought Jacob,
to fight the fears.
Jacob was funny when he said, tells Jeff, well, I'm the paranoid, neurotic indoor kid.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff.
Jenna tells us that the alliances are moving around. They're starting to form. It's focused on trust and loyalty now.
And that they put a little more thought into this tribal council than the first one. And Jacob admits his efforts might be in vain.
Yep, it could just all be to make him feel good.
And Michael, of course, we've had 2 losses. We got to get back in the game. We got to win.
Yeah, get our momentum back.
In other words, don't get rid of me. I can help you. And Brendan brings up that, people aren't always keeping the strongest players in
another good example
the now
of his
games.
Yeah, the current game. Those days are over, he tells us. And he's right.
So once again, he shows that he's a fan.
And Brendan leans over to Michael at one point and says, hey, I think we're being set up. The way things went down, what we're shown prior to Tribal Council, and then in Tribal Council, and then the result that we get.
I didn't see that because they weren't sitting anywhere near each other.
Okay, I guess you're making notes.
No, did he get up and walk over there?
He just leaned over to him.
What I'm trying to tell you is Brendan was on one side of the group. Michael was on the opposite side.
Okay.
He couldn't have leaned over.
Maybe he did. Maybe I didn't see that, and I was making
James,
notes.
I think, was next to me. Anyway, okay. That's what threw me.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Anyway.
Well, it's time to vote.
Were you surprised that they went ahead and kind of split the votes anyway, just in case?
No, I mean, we were expecting that.
Yeah.
That part went as expected.
But the only vote Michael got was Jacob's.
Yeah.
I think they're sending James a message, too, that either pick it up or you could be next.
Yeah.
Because they threw him a couple votes, too.
Yeah, who was that? It was like Libby and Michael,
Libby
I
and
think.
Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then everybody else voted for Jacob, and Jacob went home. It did look painful.
Mm-hmm.
I am sorry for you, Jacob.
Yeah, that's
awful for a fan.
That's
Anybody
definitely
really,
a
but for
fear
a fan,
that you have to recognize if you're thinking about things, and you make your list, the pros and the cons before you go out there on something like that. You could get burned really hard.
Well, he's got another 36 days to think about it before he even goes home.
Right. I'll get to go out and have adventures with Gonzalez and the next, whoever it is, five more people, 4 or 5 more that join him. So, but yeah, he said in his final words that basically all the alliances he thought he had were just in his head, and that was very painful. Yeah. And tonight, after he gets to see how hard Stephanie worked him, and just totally owned him.
I get
she just
it,
put
Jacob.
a saddle on him and rode him.
I get it.
Yeah, right out to pasture. Yeah.
So okay.
So we don't really get a sense of how things spun around. So hopefully we'll be able to figure some of that out as we go ahead.
Well, I thought Stephanie might have also gone, if she didn't want to tell anyone else or share with anyone else the knowledge she has about Morgan. It would behoove her to get rid of him. So she's the only one that knew.
Sure.
So she might have switched that around and thought, yeah, but if I get rid of him and keep the tribe strong.
Is Stephanie going to become Morgan Sarah to Morgan Sierra? Interesting, huh? So it's already we're at a point.
Well, I'm sure you're hoping she will.
Yeah. Can can you reverse the curse kind of thing.
Well, we have a long way to go before we find that out.
I'm thinking, maybe not. Maybe you don't want to reverse the curse. Because I think this could work for Stephanie quite well.
Though there is, next on Survivor,
a
tribe swap. So maybe we don't have to wait long to find out.
Yeah, they could end up in the same tribe. What do you think about a shuffle on day 7?
I was surprised.
Yeah, that was a bit of a shocker.
I was like, drop your buffs. What?
You ideally, for that to have the most impact, you want them to have just a little more time together. But okay, this way you just keep them on their heels the whole time.
Well, obviously they have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yes, I was surprised about it, and I don't really know how I feel. I think it's just keep them shaken up. I mean, they just feel like I guess it's been a day 7, so they've had a week to kind of think they were getting their
Not quite a
alliances
week.
and pulling it together. But the one tribe hadn't even been tested.
Yeah, because they haven't been yet.
tribal council. So
yeah.
But anyway, it is what it is, and we'll find out next week.
And they designed this season to have a lot of fans in it, and what they said were super fans.
Yeah, and it certainly makes it harder to make your vote-off choice for next week.
Yeah, it does make it more challenging. Yeah. But the idea
wonderful.
for these super fans is that they're basically going to get put on notice that you don't know how this is going to go down.
That's right. You may know the game, but you don't know this game.
Yes.
We're going to shake you up.
You certainly will have never seen advantages and hidden immunity idols put into effect the way they're going to happen this season.
Interesting.
I'm sure they'll get an inkling of it at some point, but
yeah, when more people go
more
there
they get
and
exposed,
catch on.
yeah.
But and probably they're not even going to trust anybody that's been over there.
Right.
That's going to come into play too.
Okay, so let's go through our list. Who impressed us the most? Who changed our Jabbic perspective the most?
Absolutely, Stephanie, Chris. I'd already was changing on Bradley, but I wasn't sure how far he could go, but I was already starting to think he was going to go farther than I thought.
I didn't get anything. My opinion of him didn't change at all. So for me,
Mine had already changed, is what I'm saying.
It was Brendan,
Before.
Stephanie, by far, and Chris.
Brendan didn't change for me. Who else? I really like Donathan, and I think he came off better than I thought he would.
I'm already tired of Donathan.
Yeah.
So.
I don't like Michael as much as I thought I might, because I don't know.
I'm getting everything.
Hasn't impressed me yet.
Excuse me, everything I expected from Michael.
I thought
he's delivering.
James might be a little more impressive than it's turned out from the first episode, but
If that was going to be Yule 2.0, you better hit the reset button and reboot that one, because it didn't come out of the gate that great.
Jenna got along better with people than I thought she would.
That alliance between her and Stephanie looks like it could be significant.
Yeah, I
because
think
when you
so,
see
too.
Jenna saying, "Hey, I'm willing to go along with what she wants because the alliance with her is
That's
more
right.
important to me," that's a
Even
lot of
though
power.
I don't agree with this.
That's a lot of power in the game.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Wendell was about what I expected, but really Stephanie and Chris were the big ones for me.
And I'm putting Brendan in that list too for me.
Alrighty.
Stephanie,
You
Brendan,
just go
and Chris.
ahead and say good words about my USB.
And thank you for yours for mine.
Yeah. So, well, she is. I like her.
Purple.
I'm liking
We
her
talked
pretty
about
good
Purple
right
Angela. We talked about Purple Chelsea. Dominic, Kellen. This was just like, hey, this is Kellen. You'll see more of her later.
You know, I almost, this afternoon when I was still struggling, chose Morgan. There was a point in time when I said, I'm going to choose her. I don't think a lot of people are going to choose her. And for some reason, I think she's going to do really well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, well, but I don't know. But for some reason, I was kind of, something about her, I thought she was going to get along with people or something. But then I thought, no, I'm just going to stick with my original because it was her. Wendell was a draw for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought, well, I don't know if Brandon's going to play the way I hope he would.
Yeah.
Brendan.
Yep.
There's too many Brendans and Brendans, and it's too close for me.
Yep, it is.
Okay,
Brendan
but anyway,
and Bradley.
I'm not disappointed with my choice.
No, he did much better than I expected, yeah. And I certainly was pro Stephanie, but she's exceeded my expectations. I fully expect her to consume Morgan whole and end up with that advantage.
Yeah, never would have chosen Stephanie G to go home first. So that was not even in my line of sight.
No, me neither. I didn't think. Actually, I thought the other tribe was going to lose, so I missed that all around.
Well, I thought that tribe. I picked the right tribe, but
All right, let's talk about JSFL, the fantasy league. A little bit.
right, we
What can you
had
tell us?
18 people in tie for first, which means there were 18 people who earned 2 points for
For guessing
Gonzalez
Gonzalez somehow,
was
huh?
first out.
All right.
And there were 12 people lost their USB, 24 right out of the gate. 44 people lost to safe points. For the side challengers this season, we have 10 side challengers.
Okay.
Brandon is in first place with 6 points. Cold Mike, James and Shannon,
job,
Jeremiah,
Brandon.
Jonathan, Kitty Cat, Randy, and Stacy are tied at 4.
Okay.
And Jay Kindred and Parker are trailing with 3.
All right. Well, it's early in the game, folks. Don't get too worried there. And you want to talk about the scoring since this was a little different? We were unable to confirm that it was going to be a double. So how did it get scored out?
Since we could not confirm that, we decided if there were 2 votes, which we thought there would be, but we decided not to go there. So we are only scoring. There would be no points for the second vote off at all. We're only scoring on the first tribal council. Because that's the only one we could know for certain until it came out today. But it's too late to change the website, get it out to everyone. So this is what we came up with. We're only scoring points for the first tribal council vote.
All right. Anything else you want to say about the episode?
I don't think so.
You have any predictions for next time?
Wow.
The shuffle?
No, I got to absorb all this and think about that for a while, at least into the listener feedback show. What about you? Anything
I think
stands out?
I think Donathan's going to continue to be a target. I think Dominic is at some risk of pulling an Andrea. So I'm actually, that just feels like that's the direction that's going to go. Did you want to say anything else from JSFL?
Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell everybody how many people were chosen how many times. Wendell is the top USB 24 with 76 people choosing him.
Before the first episode aired, people thought he was most likely to win the whole game.
Yep. This is for people playing in JSFL.
Wow, look at that.
Our fantasy league.
By more than double the next.
Oh, yeah. Brendan comes in second with 37. Kellen with 26. Dominic with 23. Lauren, 21. Jacob with 20. James with 20. Angela with 17. Morgan with 16. Bradley with 14. Michael, 12. Gonzalez, 12. Desiree, 11. Stephanie J, 8. Sebastian.
Wow, only 8 of us. I'm going to kill it. I am going to kill it this season.
Sebastian, Jenna, and Donathan, all with 6. Chelsea with 5. Chris with 3. And Libby has 1.
I'm only concerned about the Chris one.
What do you mean?
That's someone else that may have the wherewithal to win that I didn't see coming, and that's only
we're
3
talking
people.
about you and your gaming.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay.
What
I
else
see.
did you expect?
And we still had 7 people who ended up with no USB 24.
Well, we tried to put the warnings out there about that.
Yep, but it happened. There seems to be about 7.
that many.
It's about that many every
5 to 7
every time.
Yeah.
So, but okay.
Ruh-roh.
All righty. Well, I'm really looking forward to the season. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, it got off to a good start. Good pacing. Some blindsiding of us, the fans, the audience, on
Love it.
the actual tribal council results. But I enjoyed watching it, and I enjoyed seeing that. I think I'm just in awe of Stephanie's performance on Jacob. That was
Again, back to his game.
Yeah. Well, I guess it is in that part, but even if it hadn't been,
I agree.
Yeah.
She came off way better. Nobody complained about, her talking or yet anyway. But
Yeah, you're holding out hope, are you?
no,
Yeah.
not really.
So
I don't care.
it had the potential. Jacob was almost a Reichenbach, It didn't reach that level, but he was up against 4. Granted, it was an immunity
Yeah.
necklace, and
Yeah.
this was the story about an advantage, and that it was a fake idol that she got all on her own.
And in all fairness, Eric was even younger.
Yes, but that was yeah. I said it. I'm in awe. I'll
Okay.
leave it at that and move it on.
Stacy's in awe.
We're looking forward to hearing what you thought about this episode and how your perceptions of the castaways changed prior to the episodes actually airing versus what you got to see tonight. So I'm really looking forward to hearing people what they thought about Ghost Island, how that mechanic worked out, what you think we can expect on some of these other relics and their appearance. Do you think Stephanie's going to be able to pull off a Sarah to Morgan Sierra with the legacy advantage? Is Dominic going to pull a Dominic and be like Andrea and go home with that idol? Is Chris going to be able to pull the wool over his eyes and vote him out before he knows to use it? I don't know that his Dominic's spidey sense is anywhere near as good as Chris's. So, yeah, a lot of interesting questions. How is your assessment of the cast change? What do you think about the shuffle coming this quick? Yeah, overall, what did you think of the first couple of episodes there? We're dying to hear what you thought. The voicemail number is 206-350-1547. There's a toll-free version if you need it. 844-643-8737 to get the best possible audio result to be in the listener feedback show. Record your own on your phone or on your computer, something like that. Send it along as an attachment. If you're not comfortable with your own voice being on the show, write it up in a quick email and we'll read it into the episode for you. The email address, joannandstacyshow@gmail.com. Can't wait to hear what you thought about these first 2 episodes. Anything else you'd like to add, dear?
Nope, just that everything's closed now. There's no more open registration for JSFL
Fantasy League, yeah.
or the side challenge.
Okay, and
It's set.
Gotcha. Good point. And on the reminder, this season, we'll only be doing recaps like this and the listener feedback show. So we were informed by CBS that they didn't have room for us on the interview schedule. So we won't be doing that. It was a wonderful privilege. We were thrilled to be able to participate for 10 years, but that's over. So sorry, no interviews tomorrow, no extra.
I know I had
things.
Several questions.
I was thinking of questions.
I know.
Too.
Well, we'll
for
ask.
each person.
Oh, no, we won't ask
No.
them tomorrow.
No.
But I
not
could
this
sleep
time.
in tomorrow. So.
Yeah, there you go. There's that. Well, like I said, we look forward to hearing from you. Have a good one.
Good night, everybody.